Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our school board meeting. We are excited about being back, and I am sure everyone else is just as excited. Our students have started school, and we will carry on with the business of 100% student success. We're calling this meeting to order. We will have our invocation today by Reverend Jacqueline Jones Smith from Christ United Methodist Church. That will be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. And we have our very own Miss Area Superintendent Pat Wright, who's going to sing the national anthem for us. Thank you so much. Okay, so Pat, yesterday I said that I would play a joke on you and that I would say that and do that. We actually have a video. We have a video for today. But thank you so much for playing along with us. If we could all stand, please.
Good morning, Chairperson Flowers, Dr. Greger, members of the Pinellas County School Board. Thank you for the opportunity to be present and to give this invocation, and thank you all for the service. What you do is vitally important in changing our community and our world. Let us unite hearts and minds together as one, and let us pray. God of many names, we give you thanks for life, for the gift of another day, and for the opportunity to gather together in this session of the Pinellas County School Board. We give you thanks for leaders who have answered the noble call of public service, and for all present who care about the education and the development of our children and youth into thoughtful, independent, confident, and productive members of our community. Remind us all that a school board is not just a decision-making body, but is indeed, through its great work for our young, the custodian of our future. So be present with us, O God. We put the agenda before you and seek your purpose. We ask your guidance and blessing upon this session. Give wisdom to our leaders as they consider the matters before them. Help us all in the conduct of these proceedings to act with character and conviction, to listen with understanding and goodwill, to speak with charity and restraint, and to see the humanity and dignity of all, even those with whom we may disagree, so that all that is done and accomplished here today will be in the best interests of the children and youth of Pinellas County. We pray this together. And all say, amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And Pastor, thank you so very much for sharing those beautiful words with us this morning. You touched on every topic, so we receive that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Despite the rainy weather, it's raining outside. We had a wonderful first day of the 2019-2020 school year, and also a wonderful opening of our new Alyssa Nelson Elementary School. Thank you to all the staff who worked so hard preparing school campuses, classrooms, lessons, menus, buses, and everything that goes into making sure that our that our students have a successful school year. Thank you also to the parents and families who made sure scholars were on time and ready to learn. Let's enjoy just a few sights and sounds from the first day of what promises to be a very successful school year.
The best thing about the first day of school is it's a new beginning, it's a new year, and that means our students have an opportunity to go ahead and reinvent themselves, but also do better than what they did last year. Ready? You ready? You ready? All right. Gibbs High School and the Gladiator family, we're excited about this brand new school year. The beginning of the school year is fantastic. It's probably the best time of the year. Everybody's looking forward to a brand new year of great things, excellence, the positivity, the enthusiasm. How you doing, Ms. Watkins? How was your summer?
Good. How was yours?
It was good. It was real good. It's going to be a good year. It's going to be a real good year.
We are so happy to have all of you here with us for the start of the 2019-2020 school year. Anybody need help with your schedule? Watch the puddle.
Good morning. How we doing today? What's up, buddy? What's your name?
Hello. How are you?
Let's have a wonderful day and a great year of learning.
Good morning. How are you? Good morning.
Since I've been in the classroom, I've been busy the whole time, so getting everything together, making sure that their name tags are on, making sure they have a coloring sheet ready to go, and making sure that everything is all set up for the day.
Hi, Cooper.
Hello. This is your teacher, Miss
How are you?
Johnson. You have a great first day, Jamari.
Hi, Jamari. How are you?
Today is the kickoff for the first day, so I think all the kids are really excited. I know they're eager to be here, a little scared for some of them, but I think they're excited to make new friends.
My name's Ian Clark. Going to Pasadena Fundamental Kindergarten.
Kindergarten. So it's the night before kindergarten. Are you excited? The morning of, we're all kind of getting ready for school. Ian's up and ready to go. We're gonna see how this all goes. My wife is up. She's making breakfast. And we're gonna see what happens. We're all a little nervous, right? So here we go.
Here's my school. This is my school.
That's your school.
Like we did on Monday.
Yep.
Good morning. How are you, Ian? Good. Looks like he's ready.
Yeah. First day of school in Pinellas County Schools is kicked off. Our son's in kindergarten. I'm very proud. I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm nervous for him, but I'm sure he's going to do just fine.
Absolutely wonderful. Great first day of school. Thank you all so very much. And now we'll have the presentation of student rights and responsibilities, and that will also be our very own Lisa M. Wolf-Chasen, our Public Information Officer.
Madam Chair, members of the board, Dr. Grego and staff, it is my pleasure to introduce the following representatives of community and professional organizations. Representing as the Executive Director of the Pinellas Classroom Teachers Association and the Pinellas Educational Support Professionals Association, Joanne McCall. Representing the Pinellas Arts for a Complete Education Coalition, Maria Cantonis. And today there will be a presentation from the Student Rights and Responsibilities Committee. Please welcome from Richard O. Jacobson Technical High School at Seminole, Alex Toledo and Caleb Bartlett. Thank you.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the board, Dr. Grego and staff. It is our pleasure to present the Student Rights and Responsibilities Committee report for Richard O. Jacobson Technical High School at Seminole. My name is Caleb Bartlett, and I'm a 10th grader in the nursing program.
And I'm Alex Toledo, an 11th grader in the Electrical Technologies program. Thank you very much for this opportunity to share with you some of the amazing things that are happening at our school.
The decision to come to Jacobson Technical High School last year was a difficult one. We didn't really know what to expect because it was a brand new school and the construction had not yet been completed when we had to submit our applications. We weren't really sure how this school would be different from a traditional large high school. Ultimately, as my parents and I looked at all the advantages that it had to offer, we decided that it would be the best for us.
The goal of Jacobson Technical High School is that every student will graduate with a high school diploma and an industry certification through their program. There are 7 different career technology programs available, and each one meets a significant need in our community. We have construction technologies, electricity, marine mechanics, gaming and simulation, commercial arts, veterinary assisting, and nursing.
Each of these programs offers one or more industry certifications that students will be able to earn throughout their 4-year experience. As a student in the nursing program, I will be able to go to clinicals at an assisted living facility and complete the required numbers of hours to earn my Certified Nursing Assistant, CNA, certification. In my senior year, I will be able to attend Pinellas Technical College as a dual enrollment student and earn my Licensed Practical Nursing, LPN, certification. Our veterinary assisting students are required to intern 250 hours in a veterinary office so that they can graduate with their Certified Vet Assisting, CVA, certification. Our commercial arts students will be able to graduate with Adobe and Photoshop certifications, as well as other certifications that are relevant to the industry. Last year, they developed an interactive display that currently stands in Finance Park, highlighting the contributions of Richard O. Jacobson to this community. It also provides the kids who visit Finance Park with lots of information on different career paths and how they can start working towards achieving their dreams while they are still students in Pinellas County Schools.
Our gaming and simulation students will be able to graduate with Game Maker and C++ certifications, as well as other software certifications that are relevant to the industry. Business partners are impressed with how well our students code. Students have been offered some pretty exciting internships in cybersecurity and project management. Students in the construction technologies and electricity programs will be able to graduate with Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA certification, and National Center for Construction Education and Research, NCCR certification. Each year, we take field trips to work with Habitat for Humanity to build houses for those in need in our community. This year is the first year that we are offering marine mechanics. The students in this program will be able to earn their marine mechanics certification and be ready to work in this field right after high school. Most of our students also earn Microsoft Office certifications, which include Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. Our business department offers courses in entrepreneurship and management and human resources. This way, we will be equipped with the skills to go into business for ourselves when we're ready to move to the next level.
Each of our programs has an advisory board made up of community and business partners that are deeply invested in their field as it applies to our local area. Our school works directly with the advisory boards to ensure that the programs are staying current with industry standards and to provide opportunities for internships and apprenticeships during our senior year and after graduation. These partnerships give us the opportunity to gain valuable experience in the field that we want to work in while we still have the support of our teachers, administrators, and parents while we are still in a high school environment. Last year, 296 students at Jacobson Technical High School were able to earn 442 industry certifications. Our enrollment has grown this year, and we expect that the number of certifications earned will continue to increase each year.
We are really proud of our school and everything that we are working to achieve. However, Tech High may not be the best fit for every student. We don't have athletics or fine art classes, so students who want to play sports or participate in band or chorus have to do it through their zone school. Our teachers have worked hard to recreate some of the experiences that make our school feel similar to a big high school. Last year, when other high schools were having homecoming activities, we had a spirit week where we got to dress up for different themes each day. The student body got to vote on what we wanted our mascot to be, and we had a winter dance when the mascot was announced. We chose to be the Tech High Titans because our namesake, Mr. Jacobson, was a titan of his industry, and we wanted to honor his name with a symbol of who we are as a school.
Our teachers and administration have really done a lot to make sure the kids in the school are happy and enjoy every day. For the Tampa Bay Rays opening day last year, we had a hot dog cookout where our principal and AP grilled hot dogs for every kid in the school. When the Lightning made the playoffs, we had a Kona ice truck serve snow cones to this school, and Each and every one of us who wanted one got one. Many of us participated in recruiting events at middle schools to tell prospective students and families about the great things going on in our school. We also got to present at the application program information fairs to provide families with lots of details about our experiences in the best school in the district.
One of the most memorable things for me last year was our school-wide capstone project. The students in each program presented a accumulating project that was developed over the course of several months. Parents, community members, and Pinellas County school officials were in attendance to see our finished products. We estimated that 300 to 400 people came that night to see all the great things we had developed. The construction program showcased cornhole boards we had built as a class. They were built to professional standards and were sold for $150 per set. The electricity students showcased some wiring mock-ups that they had created. They demonstrated some simple circuitry, and the students explained the difference between single-pole and double-pole wiring and switches. The commercial arts students developed their own board games complete with packaging and a marketing campaign. The veterinary students hosted a gallery walk showcasing research they had done in small groups on a variety of topics that were relevant to their field. The gaming and simulation students designed their own apps and video games, and attendees were able to beta test the games and provide feedback for further development. Most of their products were also entered in the district-wide Next Generation Technology Competition. 3 groups were awarded $100 gift cards, and 1 group received a check for $1,500.
Finally, the nursing students presented their findings on 2 separate action research projects that they conducted. One was related to rates of depression in nursing home residents. The other was an investigation into teen attitudes towards vaping. The vaping presentation was actually presented by our nursing students to the student body. Then we presented at a PTSA meeting. The presentation was submitted to a state PTSA competition, and we won a state-level award for the impact it created with the audience. This year, we plan to stretch our research even further and try and prevent middle schools from vaping.
These are just a few examples of the things that make our school so different, unique, and exciting. It really is an amazing school, and I'm proud to be a student at Richard O. Jacobson Technical High School.
Thank you all once again for allowing us to be here. We truly love our school, and we want everyone to know that we are
Tech High.
And I believe Marty's trying to slide out of the door. Thank you so much for all that you are doing. For the audience and for those of you who may not know, this is the first time, but not the last, that students from the Richard O. Jacobson High School will be presenting before us. They are doing an absolutely wonderful job, and we are so appreciative. You were leaving so quick you forgot your purse. Oh, but thank you all so much. Job well done. Please tell all the students and staff we said thank you so much for all that you're doing. Boy, I tell you, we're doing some wonderful things throughout the district. Very appreciative. Do we have any possible changes to the agenda, Dr. Grego?
There's no amendments to the agenda.
No amendments to the agenda. May I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Motion to adopt the agenda.
Do we have a second, please? It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Do we have any that are opposed? Motion carries 7-0. For our special order agenda, the first item, we can stay seated, but for the next 2 items, we will go down because we will be shaking the hands of our newly appointed administrators and then the presentation that follows after that. So, thank you. The first is information on the Summer Career Acceleration Program. Dr. Grego?
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you so much. It gives me great pleasure, and I'm so proud of this program. But let me also preface that as I was looking out in the audience and watching Marty Jean Kohler, just so proud of her students, and also looking at Dr. Beyer because she and the foundation was so instrumental in securing such support from the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation to build a new veterinarian building that I'm seeing us all kind of, without a doubt, all the pieces kind of coming together. And then hearing the students with the industry certifications, this is what it's all about. This school will continue to grow and be just a diamond in our district to serve students. So thank you to Dr. Beyer, the foundation, and to Mark Hunt, and who's setting up the program, and so many people who came together. This is this particular recognition is an extension of that. Is that how do we continue to engage students in the summertime in terms of career academies and internships? And I'm going to call upon Mr. Hendrick to introduce Mark Hunt and other folks that are here with us today.
Thank you, Dr. Grego, board members and staff. It's my pleasure to be here with you this morning to give you the results of the Summer Career Acceleration Program. Last spring, we came to you and asked for approval of this program, a partnership with the Pinellas Education Foundation and the community. And I'd like to introduce Mark Hunt and Mariana Leslie, who we're going to share about those results. And as they come up, we'll share a brief video about the summer work.
So we actually run a pretty robust intern program at the 911 Center. And we do it through the high schools, we do it through Pinellas Park High School, and then we've actually done it through this program this summer with the paid internships. So we've actually been really, really pleased. We've done a number of things with them. For example, one of the big things we talk about initially is kids coming into the workplace. How do you interact? How do you dress? How do you act? How do you become an adult within a professional environment?
I've loved the experience I've had here. I couldn't ask for a better experience. This definitely teaches me how to get ready to be an adult. I got to not only show my parents, but also my peers and my school that I could be responsible. I could be given a task and execute it perfectly.
This internship has been absolutely amazing. And they've done nothing but help me and make me a better person.
These interns created a mapping system that the fire departments will be able to download automatically without having any connection to anything. So they actually are working on direct public safety issues for the 911 Center.
At first, I was a little sketched out. It seemed too good to be true. But I definitely did want to get into EMS and 911.
It's something that you can't just tiptoe into. You just gotta leap into it, enjoy every moment, because this is something you're going to look back on and use for the rest of your life.
We've had some interns and volunteers come in before, but this is the first time we've ever had somebody this young and still in high school. And I think it's a great benefit for the kids and for us, something you can do right out of high school in certain jobs and right out of college if you go that route.
It's been awesome, really amazing, you know. I just love it. Like, I love engineering, and so I love to get more experience on it, and it makes me feel happy.
Paul is a go-getter. I think that this is great experience for Paul because it gets him to network with other people in an industry. And Paul, he wants to go into the engineering field, so I had this first-hand experience doing this. I think is going to be phenomenal.
We've really enjoyed having George as an intern. What's terrific about this program is that we were able to come out and meet with a variety of students and kind of match somebody who had an interest to the airport, because for us it's an educational experience for them, but we also want it to be something that's productive for the airport. So we were able to interview a variety of great students, but George also had a specific interest in aviation and in travel, so he was an ideal match for us.
It's been great. I've learned so many different things on how operations run, how passengers flow through, how to answer passenger questions, deal with people that are kind of angry because either their flight has been canceled or been delayed. Just put a smile on your face and, you know, treat them with kindness. Customer service is our #1 here. I'm doing various different projects such as counting cars, working here in the booth, trying to gather information on starting a therapy dog program here at the airport for passengers that are flying with anxiety or just scared to fly.
It's a win for us because, of course, we do want to attract people to this industry. It's an exceptionally good industry in terms of good paying jobs. We want personable people to be in this, to greet our passengers. And meanwhile, we had the opportunity to get some great work and assistance from a really outstanding student.
Well, good morning,
Good morning.
Madam Chair, school board members, Dr. Grego, and staff. And before we get started with this, I would like to recognize Mariana Leslie, who was the backbone to this entire operation and spent many months working with students and business hosts to get students placed in internships, talking to parents, and organizing this entire activity for students that you'll hear about in detail here in just a minute. But I did want to recognize Mariana for all of her work. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your support. I know we couldn't have done it without you.
The Summer Career Acceleration Program is a partnership between the Pinellas Education Foundation, the school district, and our business hosts to provide students an opportunity, like you just saw, to experience the world of work, to help them in their choices as they ascend into adulthood and hopefully self-sufficiency. We came before you this morning to provide a closure to the summer activity, so that way you knew what had taken place and hear firsthand from students in business hosts in the video. We've got some students in the audience and some business hosts that are going to share with you their experiences as well. But as you can tell from the video, this was a very meaningful activity for the students as well as the adults. We conducted a survey of all of the business hosts after the event and got feedback from them about their experiences, some great feedback on what we can do next summer to improve the program and to make it more meaningful, not only for the business hosts, but for our students. Share a little data with you. We placed 122 students over the summer, 112 completed. That's a 92% completion. And completion means they did their internship in all of the hours that they were assigned for the entire summer, all 7 weeks of the summer. Summer Career Acceleration students earned $101,986 in stipends for their internship, and those stipends were a product of the work of the Pinellas Education Foundation. The foundation actually did the payment of the stipends to the students for us, so that partnership was very strong. Those students earned 18 industry certifications. Now, 18 out of 122 students, that may not sound like a lot, but want to remind you that these industry certifications are industry-recognized credentials that adults have difficulty doing, even though they're working in that environment every single day. And these students earned the certification from knowing nothing about the certification all the way to mastery of the content throughout the summer. And their experience with the internship helped them accelerate that learning. At this moment, we know of about 7 students that had actually received a full-time job as a result of their internship. There are probably more that we may not be aware of, but 7 at this point. So this morning we have a fair number of our business hosts that were able to make it with us this morning, and representatives from Pinellas County Government, Pinellas County Emergency Medical Services, St. Petersburg Clearwater International Airport, the Clearwater Chamber, Regional Chamber, Lockheed Martin, City of Dunedin, Derby Lane, and I know I'm going to forget someone, but if I could have all of our business hosts please just stand at your seat and be recognized for all of your support. Now, what we'd like to do is give a couple of business hosts the opportunity to share their thoughts about this experience. And with us this morning, we have Mary McManus Taylor of McManus and McManus Law Offices, and Irina Carlock, Communications and Outreach Office with Pinellas County Government. So first this morning, Ms. McManus Taylor.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for giving me an opportunity to come and share our experience with the summer program. I'm an attorney. I practice with my father, Bruce McManus, and we also have my niece, Danielle Noble, is also an attorney in our law firm. So we actually have 3 generations of attorneys practicing together. I'm just going to share a little background about myself and our firm and how we got involved in this internship. When I was in high school, my father had me come to work in the law firm because he wanted to instill a work ethic. And while I was working there, we had students from Largo High School through Mrs. Wolf, who was the typing teacher at Largo High School. We had students come in and work in our firm. We actually still have a typewriter. And this summer, when one of the interns came in and we said, we still use these typewriters. She looked at it and she was scared. She just went into a panic when she saw this big typewriter that she was using. But we calmed her down and she was able to work on it. You give these students a computer and they're whizzes. So I've had the opportunity of working with Mariana and her predecessor, Marty, with hiring students in our law firm. We also work with the programs at SPC and hire interns through that program as well. And they have on-the-job training as a class at SPC, so we like to have the students get that opportunity to work in a law firm. When Mariana asked me if I would be involved in this program and that it gave the students the ability to get a certification, I thought that was awesome. So I went to the introductory meeting and it was full of businesses. The room was packed and I thought, wow, this is really impressive, all these businesses that are coming out for this program. We actually took 2 students, 2 young ladies, and they were amazing. I actually had 2 SPC interns at the same time, and at first I'm like, where am I going to put these people? Well, we found places for them, and it was a great opportunity for my existing staff and these interns that were already there to mentor the other young students that they knew needed an opportunity as well. We had a scanning project that we were just getting started, and we had file cabinets of all these files that needed to be scanned. She completed that project before the summer was up. After the program ended, I offered them both an opportunity to stay. One did stay, and we're thrilled with that. So it was a very successful program. I thank you for allowing us to participate, and we hope to have the opportunity again.
Fabulous.
And now Mrs. Carlock from Pinellas County Government. Thank you.
Hello, I'm happy to be here. Actually, some of my worlds are colliding. I also serve on the Student Advisory Committee for Richard Jacobson High School. So it's really nice to see Marty here outside of our meeting on on Tuesdays. And also Coach Dudley was my American government teacher long time ago. So yes, very long time ago.
You survived. You survived. Hands off.
I'm a human resources officer with Pinellas County Government, and part of my job is to also manage our internship program, which we are continuing to grow. But this summer, we partnered with Mariana and the School Board and Education Foundation, and we hosted 8 interns in various departments. In those 7 weeks, they completed over 1,100 hours. So we are just absolutely thrilled, and all of the departments have been amazed by what they were able to accomplish. Because they were able to accomplish, as you saw in the video, projects that were ahead of the completion date. And they were also able to work with our departments and provide our employees an opportunity to focus on essential tasks while they're completing the projects alongside with them. But they were also able to provide our employees with an opportunity to mentor our students. And as the county, we have a lot of retirements coming up in the next 5 years, so we're really focused on inspiring our youth to a career in public service. So as we continue to grow our internship program, this has really provided our employees an opportunity to see the benefit of the internship program. There are sometimes, employees are scared and saying, we don't have the time. And really taking that time to work with these students, they were able to see the benefit of it, which I'm excited about because they've been calling me and saying, I can do this now. So that's been a great opportunity. And when we held a little graduation ceremony for our 8 interns, they have all shared with me what they have benefited, which is They have learned more about county, which not a lot of people always know what county does, but they were also able to say how dedicated employees are and what a great place it is to work. And they were also able to say whether or not they want to continue to do this, which I think is an essential part of our internship, is for them to explore and maybe this is not for you. So they were able to say, you know what, I don't like doing this. I thought I would, but I don't. But then there were the ones who just are completely amazed. We had one intern who already had major certifications and he was only 16 years old and he was able to work with our management and Office of Management and Budget on Socrata, which is a big initiative for the county. So to be able to look at these different departments and see these essential tasks that all of our citizens are going to be using, and then for them to be part of that is amazing. So I thank you. I thank you for doing this, and we hope to partner next year and even offer more opportunities. 8 of our departments have already expressed interest, so we're really excited. Any questions? Thank you.
Well, thank you both very much for sharing those experiences with us. And now we'd like to hear the student perspective. And with us this morning, we have Haley Winder from Largo High School, who interned with the Clearwater Regional Chamber of Commerce. And we have Martin Stavro, also from Largo High School, who interned with Custom Manufacturing and Engineering. So first up, Haley.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name's Haley Winder, and I am a senior in the IB program at Largo High School. And thanks to you all and the Pinellas Education Foundation, I was given this amazing opportunity this summer, and I just want to show my gratitude and thanks by telling you some of my favorite experiences and what I learned. I remember first, before the internship even started, the job fair that we students and employers participated in was honestly one of my favorite memories that I made, because it gave me insight to what it's like being a working adult. We had to find a job, we had to talk to employers, and we got to build a resume that I've still been using for college admissions. So that was really important. And also the junior achievement training that we received prior, they taught us how to have proper interview skills. So I just wanted to thank everyone who coordinated that fair, and also the junior achievement trainers for helping me learn some interview skills I'll be using for the rest of my life. Also, when I first began at the Chamber in my actual internship, the one thing that stuck out to me was the way that they just took me in and just, despite my age, made me a part of everything that they did. On the second day I got there, there was a huge event for the first responders of Clearwater, and we just jumped right in. And they did this the entire experience, from the marketing to the graphic design to planning events and being at the actual events. They included me in everything, and for that I'm extremely grateful. So thank you to my second family at the Chamber for letting me do that. Another thing I learned at the Chamber was the value of networking to being a working adult, just making connections with people. And I was exposed to so many people in different fields that I made connections myself and that I'll have for a really long time. So also thank you to the Chamber for helping me make those connections and just giving me the greatest experience this summer. You guys are great. I also learned so much about myself personally. I am currently an inexperienced and indecisive teen, and with college coming up, this was really important for me to do this summer. And it just made me extremely more level-headed and confident going forward in future endeavors, because now I know what I like and what I do like, and I kind of have a better idea of what I want to do. So just the biggest thanks goes out to you guys for just funding and coordinating this entire thing. And Ms. Mariana and Mark and all of you guys, just I can't stress this enough. Thank you all so much.
Fabulous.
Thank you, Haley. And now, Martin.
Pretty well spoken to be indecisive.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This summer, I was given the opportunity to participate in the Summer Career Program, an opportunity provided to me by Pinellas County Schools. Among what the program has taught me is that the profound power of stories has the power to change all of our lives. Not the fictionalized or fabricated stories that often we do in fiction writing, yet the reality beyond our own experiences and the real impact we have on lives that we can't even begin to imagine. And I'm standing here in the context of a story of a creation of a school board that backs their mission of 100% student success behind their actions. I fondly remember that my supervisors gave me a book on how to write influentially. this book taught me more than how to write. It taught me about the opportunities we have in front of us every day. It taught me that we have people who want to see us succeed and who are supporting us to succeed. I say that because of the initiative of the persons within and without this room. There are countless thanks to give. To my family, to my educators at the Excel program at Largo High School, my drafting instructor, Mark Hertig, and especially the Board of Education and Pinellas Education Foundation, as well as Dr. Nancy Cruz, Mike Cruz, Patty Viscalmi, and the rest of Custom Manufacturing and Engineering. At merely 17 years old, I am still astounded at the trust and generosity given to me, not only as a student, but as a contributor. To not only be a part of a business in a field that I want to pursue, but to receive genuine feedback, criticism, and praise, and to have my name affixed as an author who is worthy of presenting their works in front of Fortune 500 companies and the federal government. I take that attribution to be the precipice of respect, and I will forever cherish that opportunity. Working hard with ethics and supporting the betterment of our communities, I am proud to know a group of people with such rigid moral compasses, and I am proud to know companies and a school board who sets this as their priority in their missions. I am truly proud of the work I have done, and I am boundlessly appreciative that this program has been extended to me. Being a high school student and making a name for myself through freelance and contract work was once a dream of mine, and I can officially say that everyone in this room has contributed to making that dream a success. It's easy for us to take granted the stories we haven't heard and the invisible chances that might slip underneath our grasp. But it's thoroughly apparent when initiative pushes us to dig deeper that the story applies to all of us, that the vision of those unknown to us today very well paves a better tomorrow. The stories of people like us, powering missions of student success and keeping the American dream alive and well. Thank you.
Wow. I'm about to cry.
Thank you, Haley and Martin. Well, we've begun already planning for the 2020 summer. We hope to double the number of students that we impact, just as you've seen here this morning. So we want to say thank you from the CTE department, thank you from the Education Foundation, and from our business partners and students to the board for letting us put on this activity. Thank you.
Before anyone goes, and then I hope if my colleagues want to make some comments, you know, we always talk about putting your money where your mouth is. And I cannot imagine a better program where individuals have actually put their money where their mouth is. From the foundation to all of the companies, those that are present here today and the ones that could not be here today, to Pinellas County School leadership, my colleagues that are sitting up here, we are providing so many opportunities for our students, far above and beyond what I had when I was in school and so many others. The world is a changing place, and what you all have done is adequately prepared our students to meet those challenges head on, to go into an interview and be right at the top of their game when it comes to serious consideration for that employment skill. And we have heard so many businesses or corporations come into our county and say, we can't find the workforce. But you are providing the workforce early on, and I am just so super excited to hear about this. I was up here about to cry just to hear the impassioned comments from both of the speakers. They were not canned, those were true feelings. And so for each and every one of you, I truly thank you, because there are so many days we get beat up, if you will. And it's hard getting up the next morning sometimes. But when we have presentations like this, and when we have students that come before us because they are really trying, and we're providing an avenue, a path, all they have to do is take advantage of it. It does my heart good. So I'll cry later when I get out of my presentation. But I tell you, I feel so good today about the future of our students in this district. You have done it for me. Thank you. I'm sorry. And now we can go down and for the next two presentations.
Yes, to a school board and to the audience, it is our school board's tradition to welcome new administrators to our district, and over the summer we tend to have more than any other time during the year. Today's appointments and the recognition and welcome by our school board will be just solely those who work in this building and not those who are at the school site. Board members, you will be welcoming those administrators who are appointed during our evening meeting in September. So as I call your name and describe some short briefings, wow, you've done great. No wonder why you're hired, is that you're all lined up and you're ready to go. And probably in the right order too. That's amazing. So as I call your name and talk a little bit about you, please come up and shake the hands of the board members. Our first appointment is Anne Marie Clark, a human resources partner. Anne Marie Clark began her employment in Pinellas County in 1990. She served as the assistant administrator at Pinellas Technical College in St. Petersburg from 2012 until she was appointed a human resources partner effective this past July. Her background also includes serving as a classroom teacher at Bay Point Middle School, an assistant principal at Meadow Lawn, and a principal at Bay Point Middle School. She earned her bachelor's degree in health sciences education from the University of Florida, a master's degree in curriculum instruction, instructional technology, and certification in administration and supervision from the University of South Florida. Congratulations, Anne Marie Clark. Dr. Nicole Gallucci, Human Resources Partner, began her employment in Pinellas County in 2016. She served as assistant principal at Dunedin High School from 2016 till she was appointed to this position last past July. Her background also includes serving as assistant principal at Tarpon Springs High School and an assistant principal in Hillsborough County, and as a behavior specialist and classroom teacher in Pasco County Schools. Dr. Gallucci earned her bachelor's degree in sociology from the University of South Florida, a master's degree in instructional leadership from St. Leo University, and a doctorate degree in organizational leadership from Nova Southeastern University. Congratulations, Dr. Gallucci. Tabitha Griffin, Human Resources Partner. Tabitha began her employment in Pinellas County Schools in 1996, and she served as principal at Bel Air Elementary School from 2010 until she was appointed to this position. Ms. Griffin's background also includes serving as a classroom teacher at Ponce de Leon Elementary School and assistant principal at Cross Bayou Elementary School. Ms. Griffin earned her bachelor's degree in elementary education and specific learning disabilities from Flagler College, and a master's degree in ed leadership from the University of South Florida. Congratulations, Tabitha Griffin. Next is Michael Musto, a threat assessment administrator in School Safety Office. Michael began his employment in Pinellas County Schools in 1993. He served as the assistant principal at Oak Grove Middle School from 2007 until he was appointed into this position this past July. Mr. Musto's background also includes serving as a paraprofessional at Lealman Discovery and as a classroom teacher at Madeira Beach Middle School. He earned his bachelor's degree in special education from the University of South Florida and a master's degree in ed leadership from Nova National Lewis University. Congratulations, Michael Musto. Nicole Blair, ESE Specialist in Compliance and Staffing. And Nicole began her employment in Pinellas County Schools in 2007. She served as the Educational Diagnostician, ESE Staffing, from 2016 until she was appointed into this ESE Specialist position. Her background also includes as a classroom teacher at Calvin Hunsinger and as a teacher on special assignment at Pinellas Secondary School. Ms. Blair earned her bachelor's degree in varying exceptionalities from the University of South Florida and a master's degree in ed leadership from the University of South Florida. Congratulations, Nicole Blair. Deborah Cucciara, Manager of Talent Acquisition. Deborah began her employment in education in 2001. She served as an employment recruiter staffing specialist in Greenville County Schools in South Carolina from 2008 until she was appointed in the Manager of Talent Acquisition this past June. Ms. Cucciara's background also includes serving as an intervention specialist, a classroom teacher, and a literacy coach in New York and South Carolina, and a senior employee relations manager, diversity coordinator, and government relations administrator and HR assistant in New York. Ms. Cucciara has earned a bachelor's degree in human resources, organizational management from Robert Wesleyan College, and a master's degree in elementary and literacy education from Nazareth College. Congratulations, Deborah Cucchiera. Dr. Lynette Fields, Professional Development Specialist. Dr. Fields began her employment in education in 1986, and she served as the Senior Professional Development Coordinator from 2018 until she was appointed into this position. Dr. Fields' background also includes serving as an adjunct professor at the University of Tampa, an assistant professor and visiting professor and adjunct professor at University of South Florida, an assistant principal and classroom teacher in both Pasco and Hillsborough County schools. Dr. Fields earned her bachelor's degree in science and physical education from Flagler College and a master's and doctoral degree in educational leadership from the University of South Florida. Welcome, Dr. Lynette Fields. Vicki Kohler, Managing Officer, School Social Work. Vicki began her employment in Pinellas County Schools in 2001. She served as a social worker in the Prevention Office from 2018 until she was appointed into this position. Her background also includes serving as a social worker in student services and in the School Social Work Full Service Schools Department. Her background also includes a mental health counselor, social worker in various hospitals in New York and in Florida. Ms. Kohler's earned a bachelor's degree in social welfare and a master's degree in social work from Adelphi University. Congratulations and welcome, Vicki Kohler. And last but certainly not least, Jonathan Ogle, our pre-K through 12 visual arts specialist. Jonathan began his employment in Pinellas County Schools in 1999. He served as a coordinator for pre-K through 12 visual arts from 2009 until he was appointed into this position. His background also includes serving as an elementary art teacher and in Iowa as a secondary art teacher. Mr. Ogle earned a bachelor's degree in K-6 elementary education and K-12 art education from Upper Iowa University and a master's degree in K-12 art education from Iowa State University. Welcome, Jonathan Ogle. As I mentioned before, those are our administrative appointments over this past summer. As we catch up, board members, I always want to thank you for welcoming these individuals. They do some fine work, and we will be welcoming and recognizing those from our school sites during our evening meeting. If I may, I'll go to the last presentation, and that is a presentation I would call upon Mr. Kevin Smith, our Associate Superintendent for Finance, and to bring recognition. As I mentioned before, board members, this district was recognized recently for our comprehensive annual financial report, and this certificate of achievement is the highest of recognition in the area of government accounting, and I'm so proud to have Mr. Smith as our CFO, and also just the work that our entire department does for this school board and really for our community. Mr. Smith?
Thank you, Dr. Grego. Madam Chair, school board members and staff. The Government Finance Officers Association, or GFOA, is a major professional association servicing the needs of nearly 20,000 appointed and elected local and state governmental officials and other finance practitioners. The GFOA established the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting, or CAFR program, in 1945 to encourage and assist state and local governments to go beyond the minimum requirements of generally accepted accounting principles and to prepare comprehensive annual financial reports that evidence the spirit of transparency and full disclosure, and then to recognize individual governments that succeed in achieving that goal. Reports submitted to the CAFR program are reviewed by selected members of the GFOA professional staff and the GFOA Special Review Committee, which is comprised of individuals with expertise in public sector financial reporting and includes financial statement preparers, independent auditors, academics, and other financial professionals. I'm happy to report that the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting has been awarded to Pinellas County Schools by the GFOA of the U.S. and Canada for the district's 2018 Comprehensive Annual Financial Report. This is, as Dr. Grau mentioned, this is the highest form of recognition in the area of governmental accounting and financial reporting, and its attainment represents a significant accomplishment by our government and its management. This is the third consecutive year that the district has received this award. I would like to thank and congratulate Ms. Amy Lockhart, Director of Accounting, who led the team effort in the preparation of the district's comprehensive annual financial report for the 2018 fiscal year, and who was instrumental in the district receiving this award. Amy?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That concludes our recognitions. Thank you.
For those of you who are probably here or maybe here for the first time, if you see one of us go in the back, there is a intercom system so we can continue to hear what's going on for the meeting. They're not just leaving and unable to hear or keep up with what it is that we're doing or moving forward in. Those were some really special recognitions. Thank you so much to all of our new administrators. Thank you so much to the accomplishments of our Summer Career Acceleration Program, which is well on its way, as well as to our Beans Department, that's what I call it, GFOA, for making sure that we have what we need and we keep it all in line. So great job, everybody. Moving on to the public comments portion of the agenda. Do we have any speakers?
Board members and Dr. Grego, we have 2 speakers this morning for specific agenda items. Our first is Lenora Faulkner, who will speak to consent number 29, and our second will be Mark Clutho, speaking to consent number 24 and consent number 25.
Good morning, school board members. I'm just so excited about Pinellas Park Middle. I'll give you my history and what I've been doing about it. So thank you for working on it. In 2005, before school, I made my first visit to Pinellas Park Middle. It was first and last time I visited since my allergy doctor wrote a letter for me to retire immediately in 2003 because of the toxic condition of our school. The teachers told me that this was before school. They had to leave early the day before because there was so much mold and mildew in the air system, especially in 3 and 4. I was in building 3 when I first arrived. Building 1 was always toxic. They said that the principal told them that they would get a new school in 2007. I spoke to Bob Vaccari, the greatest principal on planet Earth. I told him I would speak at every school board meeting until the new Pinellas Park Middle was opened. I thank Pat Wright for keeping me informed. We taught together at Pinellas Park Middle many years ago. We were the Baldrige Quality Middle School. We were the Career and Technology Middle School. For years, 8 teachers attended the National School to Work Convention in New Orleans in August of 1997. We were the only middle school there. It is so sad to leave Pinellas Park Middle out of the equation. It is very sad. We attended the national conference. Thank you for building our schools. Our students have waited for 12 years. Peace to all of you.
Mark Lutho, Largo, 724. This is an agreement with Docker Associates for Architectural Design and Construction for the reusable prototype classroom buildings. What could go wrong there? It reminds me of that prototype at Mildred Helms where my wife taught. Oh yeah, you remember that, don't you? What a debacle. And then the Request approval for substantial completion for the glass storefront and door additions at Curlew Creek Elementary School. I'm sure this is another example of glass to the ground, which is completely asinine. What does that give you? Something like this study, Warming Rev 17 hurricanes. And the price tag on climate change. Florida may have to build $76 billion worth of seawalls by 2040. See, it's the cause and effect thing. You make your stupid buildings that belch the carbon, and then you have to react. You have to do these things. Here's the editorial from the St. Pete Times, August 1st, How to Build Amid a Changing Climate. You aren't doing that. Not even coming close. July was the hottest month in recorded history. And your buildings keep going in the wrong direction. Glass storefront? No, no, no. All wrong.
Moving forward with the consent agenda, do I have a motion? I have a motion with a second to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. I'm sorry. Ms. Lentino?
Yes. My report is forthcoming. Is it forthcoming?
We're going to vote on the consent agenda, and then we're going to,
Okay.
we have to go down and,
All right.
okay. But yes, you'll be number one.
All right.
You'll
Thank
be
you.
number one. Yes,
Thank
ma'am. There's a motion with a second as it relates to the consent agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. We have our non-consent agenda. We have 2 items on that agenda. The first is to request approval of the memorandum of understanding with the Education Foundation. Dr. Grego?
I couldn't be more proud of this agenda item, and that Dr. Beyer is with us today. And she was listening to some of the other good news this morning too, but also Jennifer Dull, who's worked so tirelessly with our teaching and learning department on the same thing that I've talked to you many, many times about, elevating excellence. It's going to continue to redefine our district, and so let me turn it over to Ms. Dull and Dr. Beyer.
Good morning, Board, Dr. Grego, staff, and community. This item comes to you as a memorandum of understanding for a data sharing agreement, but it is so much more than that. It actually becomes a culmination of something we started over 2 years ago with Elevating Excellence. It started with in-school supports through Elevating Excellence Champions and through our summer seminars, which had over 600 students every year. But really it is our commitment to supporting all our high-achieving students with targeted outreach for first-generation minority and low-income students, and navigating what has become an ever-increasing and ever-challenging, complex system of navigating your way to the college and post-secondary process. So that it has much changed since I went to college, and so part of this commitment with Elevating Excellence is to really make sure that as a district we're providing the top high-quality supports that students would receive in any top-tiered independent school. So it really is our commitment on looking forward that way. This MOU represents the next phase in our work. As you've heard, we have been able to start 4 new college and career centers here at 4 of our schools. We started one last year at Largo, but we're in the stages at Gibbs, Clearwater, Pinellas Park, and Boca Ciega High School with plans to expand to all of our high schools in upcoming years. So this MOU really brings forth a data sharing agreement for those that we have hired through the foundation to be able to have access to our student information to be able to support them. I would be remiss if I didn't say that this is a true partnership with the foundation. They have, through their support, we have not only gotten over $2 million in philanthropic funds to support elevating excellence as a whole, but is also definitely a relationship of thought partner, and we push each other to see how can we do this better, best for all of our students and the families of Pinellas County Schools.
I just wanted to make a couple of comments. Someone said earlier that this meeting wasn't canned. I honestly had no idea that I was coming to a meeting today where so many initiatives that the Education Foundation has been involved in were going to be recognized, starting with the Jacobson Technical High School. And I hope that this is a moment in time for our foundation and our relationship with the school district from the perspective of when some of you are new, so this is my first time presenting since you joined, but when I first came to the Education Foundation, I had the opportunity to sit down with a couple of area superintendents, and people are probably tired of hearing this story, but it was really important to me when I asked them the question, what keeps you up at night? Because for us at the foundation, I felt it was very important that our work be directly aligned to the things that were keeping the district up at night in terms of making sure that we were focused on the metrics and the critical initiatives that were of priority to the school district. It won't be everything every time, but there are a couple of areas that through our work we've been able to identify as being important and places where we think we can add value not only to our schools and to our teachers and to our principals and most importantly to our students. So we did spend my first year, I actually just started my 3rd year at the Education Foundation. We started our first year working with district administration to really understand kind of where were the pain points and where was the foundation uniquely positioned to be able to bring value to initiatives that the district was working on. And one of the first ones that came up was elevating excellence and really honing in on the places where, when you look at the Summer Career Acceleration Program, it wasn't our idea. It perfectly aligned to where the foundation is focused on making sure that students are prepared for life after high school. And it was an area that we had not worked in before, which was really on those job skills. While we have a strong agenda in career technical education, just really for those students who are likely to transition from high school right into a job, it was a really unique space. And the value add that we could bring to that initiative was around our business contacts and the leverage that we could bring after 32 years of history of working with the business community and connecting them to the public school system. And then, of course, in the administration of some of the payroll. And while we'll continue to expand our efforts in things like Take Stock in Children and our gender achievement and future plans, as we look to new initiatives that the foundation will do, we're going to be making sure that we are working hand in hand with the school district to make sure that we're focused on the things that matter and the metrics that matter to leveraging our value that we can bring to different initiatives. My hope is that in the future, I come to other board meetings where I don't sit in the front row all by myself, but hear about things that the district is talking about that you're proud about that we have been a part of. And it's, we don't want to be, we are an independent organization, but at the end of the day, our mission and our vision really aligns together, and it's only through our partnership that we will be able to be successful. In my, on my performance evaluation every year, it says, what partnerships or where have you collaborated? And the first 2 years, to be honest, I didn't talk about the district. And this year I was like, wait a minute, I'm leaving the most obvious partner out of the equation. And so I talked about the work that we've been able to do together and the success that we've been able to see. So coming to a meeting today, having it get kicked off with those students from Jacobson High School, I was so happy we didn't follow them because they were so fantastic and really being able to articulate when the vision of the school district create the first first Career Technical Education High School comes to fruition, but knowing that we will play a part in the development of the Vet Sciences and Life Sciences building, and I even know some of my board members are starting to get more active with Marty over there at her school, the continued expansion of our summer career acceleration programs and leveraging that relationship with the business community and job experiences and hopefully internships for students. And then, of course, now with elevating excellence and just really fortifying how it is that we will work together. You know, at the end of the day, our foundation exists to help students maximize their fullest potential. And as Chairwoman Flowers kicked off the meeting by saying there's dedication to 100% student success, that's what we're about as well. And I think we can all agree that that is our mutual goal. So I came with notes. Jen's really good to just talk. But, you know, as we work together, I think there's nothing that we can't do. I think this is just the beginning of a great and growing opportunity for us to help students achieve more and be more successful. And wherever the foundation can be of help in that role, we're here.
Thank you.
So as you can see, this is much more than just the approval of an MOU. It's kind of brings forward the light a lot of work and a lot of partnership with the foundation and a lot of tireless work from teaching and learning. So Mr. Kevin Hendrick, Ms. Judy Vigu, along with Ms. Lori Matway and Mr. Jonathan Blair. This is a true cross-functional initiative that pushes forward on behalf of students, not just from Pinellas County Schools, but from a holistic point of view of helping our students and helping our families.
Fabulous. Yeah. I'm excited. All right, so we've heard our Dr. Carr?
I just wanted to say thank you to the Education Foundation as newly elected individuals for making us so clear on your mission and the revisions to your strategic plan and the hard work that you've done, Dr. Beyer, as a leader of the organization to really review and look closely at those metrics and devise such a well thought out strategic plan and assuring that the alignments are in place. So it's a joy to work with you, and you articulate and communicate the vision and mission of the foundation so well. So thank you for your hard work.
Thank you.
Fabulous. So do we have a motion with a second to approve the memorandum? There's been a motion. Do we have a second? Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you again so much.
Thank you, Dr. Beyer.
Our second non-consent item is requesting approval of a 3-year agreement with K-12 Insight LLC. Dr.
Yes, Madam Chair and School Board, this is an item that was brought discussion during a recent workshop as an attempt, as our board always wants to try to reconnect and better connect with our community, our stakeholders, and so forth. So Ms. Dull has been really working this issue too, so thank you for staying up there, if you could.
Good morning again.
Good morning.
So the next item brought to you for approval is, we did speak about in our July workshop around Let's Talk. We had an in-depth conversation over the last at least year, including looking at our climate surveys and how we receive feedback and how we really communicate with our families. And I've heard loud and clear that we are looking for ways to be more innovative and to increase our communication capacities to hear from our families and stakeholders. So this agreement through K-12 Insight is for a platform called Let's Talk that will allow us to have a technological way to not only increase our communication, but also use that information in a way that can inform our decision-making process and any things on program or initiative ends that we can do to better support families and students. Do want to point out that this agreement, while it is a 3-year agreement, it does have a clause that looks at we can come back every year to make sure that as we enter this for the first time, that we are being fiscally responsible and making sure that it is meeting our needs and what our goals for communication and engagement with our stakeholders. And we will definitely be bringing board updates to workshops as we go through a phased implementation of this program.
Any comments by the board? We can never have too many ways that we can offer the ability for our parents and the community to communicate with us if they can't make our meetings, workshops. to share with us, and you're right, to help guide that strategic plan, help guide the Bridging the Gap plan, help to build on what we're doing and correlating that throughout the district. So I think we're definitely headed in the right direction. I look forward to an update report on those numbers where we're at once we've implemented, about 3-6 months in or so.
And also, the school districts in the state of Florida I've talked with that have implemented this program say that our start of the year went very, very smooth, let me say that, but they get a lot of really quick questions answered through this medium where you're trying to reach somebody, a quick question, a quick answer back, and we're done.
Mhm.
It takes all of those questions of bus transportation, food service, all of those questions that could be answered in a split second with someone sitting on the other side, rather than trying to figure out what number do I call. So the superintendents I've talked with said that it truly helped them, not only in the beginning of the school year, but throughout, for taking some of those quick questions off the table. So we'll continue to come back and see if this works. If it doesn't, we'll discontinue it. But I think it's something that's worth a shot. So thank you, board members, for your support.
Thank you. Do we have a motion with a second to approve the 3-year agreement with K-12 Insight LLC?
Move approval.
It's been I have a motion with a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you so much, Ms. Dole, for the work that you're doing.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Moving on to new business. Items introduced by the superintendent.
I thought our video of coming back, the first time I saw it, I heard that Sean Clark followed his kindergarten student. I thought that was really a very creative way, so I don't know if Sean's still here, but is he? But say thank you. He allowed us into his home, and even as we brushed his child's teeth with him. So that was good. So, but in all seriousness, it was a wonderful, wet week, but it was also a great week. And it was a week that, once again, our school district opened up the logistics of opening up schools remarkably well. And for that, I always want to thank each and every person, each and every employee for the preparation that went into the week. It just doesn't happen by itself, whether it be food service, transportation, the head plan operators, the principals, the teachers, the support staff, everyone contributed to that preparation. I also want to thank this board for continuing to support. We have 7 days in preparation in the beginning, and we will try to keep those teachers in their classrooms preparing for the first day of school for a majority, if not a great majority of time there. And I think it really pays off. As I visited schools the first week, teachers were teaching and students were learning. It wasn't let's wait till next week. It was happening right there. And that's really important. Yes, the Elisa Nelson Elementary School got a lot of publicity, as so did the Richard O. Jacobson the year before as we opened that school up. So it's a new school. They had tremendous parent participation. The parents that weekend before, those of you who were able to get there, planted a butterfly garden, and many others. They had raised planters boxes where they'll grow the vegetables and go right from the growth all the way to the table and have that learning experience. And then later, and many of us went to open up the new conservatory. We'll have a complete ribbon cutting on the new Arts Conservatory of the Arts Wing for the Tarpon Springs High School. But what a beautiful building. As we open up also other parts of the Sandy Lane Elementary School, the Conservatory of the Arts there. So thank you to this board. I know you're out to visiting schools. It really means a lot to our principals when you're there to support them and to advocate for them. So thank you for a well-run first week of school, and that has continued on to the second week also. We do have just a note of calendar. This Thursday, the 29th at 7 p.m., we will have our county-wide graduation. This is kind of our end of the summer, and you see all of the tremendous celebrations. We'll be hosting that at 7 p.m. I know it's on your calendar at Ruth Eckerd Hall. I want to thank all those involved with preparing it. Every graduation and every graduate is as important as the other one. So we're going to be there really celebrating all of our graduates. The Largo Middle School, we talk about media centers. Largo Middle School earned a statewide recognition for outstanding media center, and this was issued by the Florida Power Library School. It honors schools that implement exemplary library programs. And Largo Middle School is doing so many great things. Some of you have mentioned that they've challenged you in and a dance, but beyond that, they are raising the bar in academics and all accounts, and this Media Center recognition is certainly one of them. I want to thank Principal Linda Burris and Library Media Specialist Holly Schwartzman for receiving this prestigious honor. Also, 4 schools received this past month or two the National PTA Award. Curlew Creek Elementary School, Seminole Middle School, Dunedin High School, and the Richard O. Jacobson Technical High School were named the National PTA Schools of Excellence for building strong family-student partnerships that enrich the educational experience. So thank you for our partnership also with the PTA, and congratulations to these schools that were recognized. I want to recognize a teacher in our district, Jennifer Utz. Jennifer is a Seminole Middle School math teacher, and she was elected to serve on the board of the national, not statewide, but National Mathematics Education Organization. And this is, she was elected to the board of directors of this National Council of Teachers of Mathematics. It's the world's largest mathematics education organization and advocates for high-quality mathematics teaching and learning. Whenever there's an opportunity for us to celebrate one of our own representing us in Pinellas County on a national, even on a state level, we ought to celebrate. And I just wanted to say congratulations to Jennifer, and she certainly makes us proud, and I know she'll do a great job. In addition to that, I want to mention one thing and ask Matt Bloom to come up and just for a minute or two, because this Congressional Medal of Honor that's coming up, that's taking place, is the highest award of valor in action against the enemy force, and this is a tremendous organization. It's also a tremendous occasion. The medal is generally presented by the President of the United States in the names of Congress and dates back all the way to the Civil War. There have been 3,507 recipients, with only 71 of them living. And every year, the Congressional Medal of Honor Society hosts a national convention to honor past and present medal recipients. This year, the convention will take place in Tampa from October 22nd through the 26th. And I want to publicly thank Matt Bloom. He has taken this on, and I saw him the other day as I was leaving, and he's so excited about the news he's going to share with you as board members and really to our public. But I want to thank him personally, because without his leadership, our involvement in partnerships, we're talking a lot about partnerships today, would not have been where it is today. So Matt, if you could describe to this board the series of events that are going to take place, and don't be shy, don't be modest. Talk about your involvement in this organization.
Well, Madam Chair, school board members, Dr. Gregory and staff, thank you. This work did not pop up overnight, even though I know that the invitation to your calendars seemingly did. Since June of 2018, we've been partnering with the Medal of Honor Conference Committee, who's been organizing the national convention that'll be hosted in Tampa at the end of October, to work on extending the mission and the vision of the Medal of Honor recipients, which is they wanted to leave an impact more than just what they're known for as receiving these awards, the Medal of Honor award. And so a while back, they had developed a character development program, and as the committee moves to different cities around the country, they do outreach to help extend that character development program into the surrounding schools and school districts. So obviously we jumped on board as part of our character initiatives to help start training teachers, guidance counselors, administrators, school staff around their program and their free resources that they have available to us. And while we were planning that, we decided we want to make it meaningful for our students and a way for them to show that they have really learned the character development lessons and have found ways that they could implement them. And so throughout the course of last year, in addition to the trainings, we underwent a series of initiatives that we developed with the conference. Two of them that I'd like to highlight. One was a welcome letter to Medal of Honor recipients as sort of a mail call. So when they arrive to the conference at the end of October, they're going to be presented with hundreds of letters from Pinellas County students K-12, welcoming them to our school district, to the Bay Area, letting them know that we wanted to thank them for their service. And so those will be delivered mail call style. If you're familiar with honor flights, it's kind of a similar idea. The other one that we're particularly proud of that's unique and new is a coin design competition. So I worked last year with Sue Castleman and Jonathan Ogle to develop a coin design competition where the students would learn about the Medal of Honor coin themselves and then reinterpret it as a visual representation of one of the 6 core character traits for the Medal of Honor Award. Courage, sacrifice, patriotism, citizenship, integrity, and commitment are the 6 that the Medal of Honor was built upon. And our students were challenged with designing a 4-inch in diameter image that represents both the state of Florida and our county and the character trait as well. And we turned in hundreds and hundreds of examples of student artwork K-12 over to the conference committee. And when they were going through the process of selecting a winner, the original intent was 1. Well, they got it down to the top 3 and got stuck for weeks. I would be calling and emailing, asking if there was any information, and they finally decided that the student submissions were so good that they were just going to honor 3 of them. And then that set precedence for the other school districts that they were going to have to honor 3 for them as well. And we ended up with 3 students who are going to be recognized over the coming days. You all have received 2 of those presentation invites. We're working on the 3rd. But we have students at Thurgood Marshall Fundamental Middle School, Safety Harbor Middle School, and Highland Lakes Elementary who are going to be recognized for their artwork, which has been reduced down to the size of the conference coin and then minted so that all of the Medal of Honor recipients who travel to the conference at the end of the month of October will receive a copy of that coin. And the students are going to be invited out to multiple events to be able to share their coins and to be able to share some experiences with those Medal of Honor recipients. The 3 students, I can't give you their names, even though I would love to be able to share them with you right now. It's been a high-level secret all throughout the summer and the end of last year. Parents were sworn to secrecy as well as the adults involved. But they were on sacrifice, citizenship, and commitment. So those students are going to receive the coins, and then the schools are going to receive sets of coins that they'll be able to give out to their own students. For a long time afterwards, I kept upping the number of coins we wanted to give the schools so that they could sustain this. And so that'll be something that will cap off kind of their character work each year. But I do want to thank also Mr. Hendrick and the executive directors for elementary, middle, and high, because I just came to them with a whole bunch of ideas and said, like, what can we do? And they just said, what do you want? And then we found a way to make these things happen. So it's a great opportunity, and we're looking forward to more things with the conference.
So thank you, Matt, and to the board, if you can make any of those, we'll give you the Thurgood Marshall date when it's set, but the others are, as you know, Highland Lakes, I think is Wednesday, September 4th at 2:10, and then Safety Harbor is at 3:15, the same date, and when the Thurgood Marshall one gets settled. But we have great employees working in our school district to take things and to run with them and be supported along the way. So thank you so much. Last 2 comments, as you know, we're talking another partnership with the Juvenile Welfare Board. You know, September is Attendance Awareness Month, and the Juvenile Welfare Board always uses and tries to rally attendance, and they're going to use Corey Thornton again at New Heights Elementary School on September 4th at 9 o'clock. If any board member is able to be there, I'll be there. But really just to challenge a school to, every school they go to, the attendance increases and gets better. So I want to thank our partners at Juvenile Welfare Board. My last comment is to all board members. As you know, we've experienced storms along the way. We're in the middle of hurricane season. And to our new board members, we want you to be comforted to know that we are fully prepared. Mr. Herbeck and I have, in fact, recently attended the Pinellas County Emergency Management staff, where we actually did a mock hurricane. We have Kathy Perkins, who's the new EM director with the county, and also Susan Groves, who works there as a coordinator. But Mr. Herbeck and others, we have, unfortunately or fortunately, we have some practice with this, with Hurricane Irma, but we're hoping that we don't have to use that practice ever again. But I want the board to feel comforted that we have totally prepared ourselves, our schools, our every aspect of this, and to help serve this community. And with that, maybe I'll ask Mr. Herbeck to make some comments or more detail to the board.
And thank you, Dr. Grego, and board members. As you know, we have 28 of our schools serve as storm shelters, and that's the majority of the storm shelters in Pinellas County. There are a handful of city and municipality sites that also serve as shelters, but basically when it comes down to it, we are the storm shelter for Pinellas County and for our residents. What a lot of, I think, our citizens don't really understand is that we staff those shelters. I think there's a belief out there that we have different organizations, groups, or volunteers staff those shelters, but when those shelters open, they're run by our food service team, by our plant operators, our maintenance team, and our school administrators, as well as district administration. So we, as Dr. Grego said, we work very closely with EOC. There's an executive leadership team within Pinellas County Emergency Management. He mentioned a couple names. Dr. Grego and I and myself sit on that team along with their county administrator, Barry Burton. And when that team gets together, when Pinellas County is under the threat of an evacuation, that team gets together and makes that final decision. And when that decision is made, my first phone call is to a series of people. I guess that's my first series of phone calls to a series of people. It includes food service, transportation, maintenance, and schools police. All four of our departments then get the wheels motion. We send out supplies, we get food ready, we have everything that we need so that when that first shelter opens and that first evacuee is standing at that door, no matter what their needs are, we're going to meet those needs and we're going to be ready to serve them. And that's the commitment that this district has met with the cooperation, again, with Pinellas County. So as Dr. Grego said, there's a lot of wheels in motion. We do have, as he said as well, some experience with this, with Irma. We housed 28,000 people and had one complaint. That's pretty good. And as he said too, we certainly hope not to have to make it a habit of opening up shelters, but when a threat does arrive, just please be comforted to know that the wheels are in motion. We are going to have our shelters up and ready. If you have any sorts of questions, and I know
at all, even curiosity questions about it, please don't hesitate to call either myself or Mr. Herbig. That concludes my comments. Thank you.
He's not here today, but I have nothing.
Okay. All right. Items introduced by the board. Ms. Latino?
I attended the graduation ceremony on August 1st. The Reverend Watson Haynes, President and CEO, is presiding over that meeting. Linda Marcelli, Board Chair. Michael J. Boykin, Senior Program Director, is inviting you, it's passed now, to the 2019 Summer Youth Leadership Program. And that's a very instrumental program because 50 of those students all managed to graduate from that, that requirement. Everybody was all in sync, and we had skits, and it was very entertaining. It was very entertaining. The St. Petersburg College Health Education Center had some rain. The activity was held at the Health and Education Center, but we had an engaging time visiting the exhibits. I had an opportunity to visit the JWB booth, the firefighters booth, and numerous booths that were too many to mention. Bus painting and everything were presented, and we had a great, great time. On August 13th, the Walter Pinellas Service Center was hit with a deluge of rain, and it was really coming down very heavily, and we had our umbrellas out. So, not to be mentioned, but we trudged through it all, and it was a wonderful moment, and I thank Mr. Rankins very much. School opens on August 14th. I visited Melrose, Gulfport, Midtown Academy, the baccalaureate K through 8th grade, which I wasn't allowed to attend the kindergarten rooms, and the elementary fundamental school, and Perkins Elementary School as well. All children were doing an excellent, excellent job. I attended the new Career Source meeting, which is Mr. Hunt's, Mr. Hunt's position, and he's encouraged me to attend. This meets every other month. Endangered species. And this issue, the Science Center on 22nd Street North had some issues with the endangered species, but we're going to table that and we're going to bring it forward another time. We ended the visit at the old police station to stuff the bus. We had many school supplies to last us, and we presented the bus with so many supplies, and we filled the bus. And actually, I want to interject this, this comment. We need to have a policy that would help us to engage in a policy for environmental issues. And I hope that we could feel successful in engaging in a policy for environmental issues through maybe high school grades or middle school grades. And I would like to thank everyone for supporting me in my efforts.
Thank you, Ms. Lentino. And thank you for attending the Career Source meeting. That was your first one, and hopefully they will be doing some wonderful things, getting everything back going. So thank you for attending that meeting. Mr. Dudley, and then Ms. Cook.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to piggyback on what Superintendent Grego said about the Medal of Honor. We're very fortunate in St. Petersburg. Well, it's actually St. Petersburg Beach. Staff Sergeant Gary Luttrell is a Medal of Honor winner, and I had the privilege of meeting him when I was on St. Pete City Council, and we have the approach going out to the Bayway is named in his honor, and so we're very fortunate to have Mr. Luttrell here. He's a wonderful guy, and I think it'd be great. Maybe we could reach out to him and come talk to some students, and all. He's a terrific guy. And I just briefly wanted to mention about the school opening. I too visited several schools, and I can't recall a smoother opening. I attended Northeast High School because they were the earliest that opened, and then from there I went to North Shore Elementary and Shore Acres Elementary, and then I went over to Medellin. I have to tell you, Medellin is a huge school. It's over 1,150 kids approximately, and they had a very, very smooth opening, and my hat's off to all the administrators and teachers who stepped up and greeted the kids when they all walked in. There was a couple of challenges, like at North Shore, they rerouted, they changed the way the buses come in, but it was flawless, and I want to commend all of them for a fine job. And that's pretty much it, and I would like to again, as I did the end of last year.
Time's up.
It's wonderful. I didn't know we had a time. I would like to have, throw the challenge out for parents and those of you in the general public that could donate your time, go to the schools. They could certainly use volunteers. When school activities are occurring, please go to them. These kids put their heart and soul into it, and it's nice for them when they turn around, they look up in the stands at a football game, or lacrosse is coming in now, or soccer, or baseball, or any of those. You know, it's really gratifying to them to see people who are there. And I would like to open a challenge to all of you to go ahead and make yourself available. And these kids need mentors. Please step up and do that. And it's rewarding for both of you, for you as much as, probably more than the kid. And that's all I have.
Okay. Yeah, we have had a wonderful start to the school year, and we were able during the summer, or at the end of the summer, to celebrate a lot of the things that had happened with successes that we had. We thanked the principals, and we thanked the teachers, and we thanked the area superintendents for all of the work that they did in order to help our schools actually raise their school grade, but more importantly for the students to be able to learn. I was reading the grant that will be used in our transformation zone, and I realized that publicly we have thanked a lot of people. Privately, we have also thanked a lot of people. And although I thanked this individual privately, I would like to publicly thank Nikita Reed for what she has done with our students in the transformation zone. She has worked hard with the principals, with the teachers, and our students are showing great gains And there's a lot of success because of the time and effort that all of the people together have put in place. So I just wanted to thank them, and if we've forgotten anybody else, or if I have forgotten anybody else, to publicly thank Dr. Brinson, you know, pardon?
Bob Gagnon.
Yeah, Bob Gagnon, exactly. All of those people working hard behind the scenes and being here to support the schools means so much. And I don't ever want to take for granted the work that our district staff are doing, as well as every single one of them that are on the ground with the students every single day. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I want to reiterate how much fun I had, as many did, as we saw in the video with the first day of school. And thank you to Mr. Poth for letting me tag along with you to your school visits on that first day of school, and to others who allowed me to be present during the back-to-school events with their staff. And I wanted to just acknowledge, we had the opportunity to visit a number of new principals or principals new to their building. And I just wanted to acknowledge those administrators who step into that role. It's a unique role sometimes for individuals, as not all of them apply, but are asked because of the talents that they have to step into a position of leadership in a new place where they may not have previously anticipated. And so many of them do it with grace and provide the leadership that our students and families and teachers need within those buildings. So I just want to acknowledge those individuals who have done that this year as we get the kickoff. And, you know, we saw evidence of it with our previous agendas and how many people we approved for administrative positions and changes within the district. So just to say thank you to those individuals who are stepping into those roles, because the attitude that they show really sets the culture for all of the students and families within those buildings. And we know the kind of pressure they're under. Just in my short time here as a newly elected board member, I think we've had 2 occasions when our classroom teacher association representatives stepped forward to acknowledge the stress that the administrators in our buildings are under. So I know that it's also something to consider as we see a storm rolling in, that they think about, oh, forget those plans for the weekend, this long weekend, I might have to open my building. So just to acknowledge them and say thank you to them, because those are some big shoes that they have to step into. And thank you to our families, our community agencies. I had the opportunity to bear witness to a number of our neighborhood associations as a time of partnership. We've heard so much about partnerships. Some of our Friends of Woodlawn and Friends of North Shore and other organizations, how the people within the community with different faith-based groups have stepped in to provide so many of our students with back-to-school supplies, not just for Stuff the Bus, which was a phenomenal event, but also throughout the county. The philanthropy that takes place within our county is just astounding. I had the opportunity to visit the Homeless Empowerment Program in Clearwater with Beth Green and Ashley Lowry, and the work that they're doing there. And thank you, Mr. Hunt, for working so closely with them to get that program running and support family. It truly is an empowering opportunity for individuals. And thank you to the work that I know this board has been experiencing and looking at with the group. But and then lastly, just to acknowledge our health, the board that we're on for with JWB and the county commissioners, just the initiatives that they have put forward to share with the board, piloting a program through the pediatricians to ensure that appropriate referral services are offered for those 0 to 3, which is so important within our community, and to adequately prepare our students. So thank you for the opportunity to serve on that board. I think we enjoy it, and I can't speak for us, but but it's certainly something that allows us insight into some of the other organizations within the community and better empower us as board members to serve wisely. So thank you for that, and have a great week.
Good morning. Thank you all so much for being here this morning. After watching the video and getting an opportunity to visit Lisa Nelson Elementary, the first day of school. I was also over at Eastlake Middle School. Being around the students, being out there on the ground is very, very exciting. I think there's just so much energy. And really, from watching the video, I relate so much because my first day of school started out much the same as the video. Getting my children ready for school, getting them off to their respective places and organized, and there's so much stress going on the first week, not only for parents, but our students, for our administrators, for our schools, and we're all feeling that stress. But what I gathered today throughout this meeting was all of the philanthropic work that has gone into so many programs, so many initiatives throughout our county, and I think that every member of Pinellas County should be very, very proud of the heart and the passion that so many people and organizations have to help our students forward, to help us start the year off right, to move forward with a positive and exciting energy so that we can continue to strive to make this the best county in Florida, to make it the best school system that we absolutely can. And I am very excited and full of passion and enthusiasm for the new year ahead. I think we're going to do great things, and I wish everyone the absolute best in their respective schools and places of business. Let's make it the best year. So thank you all so much.
Yes, I'd like to piggyback off what Dr. Carr said about working with other agencies. This past summer, starting in May, I have been working with a family to try to find Section 8 housing. And working with Dave Edgars and Gus Bilirakis, I want to publicly say thank you. My first family is all settled in. No sooner did I get them settled in, and I got a phone call, and I'm working on 3 more. It's just working with other agencies and you know, explaining to them that if our children don't have a safe environment to live, they're not going to be successful in school. And the Pinellas County Housing Authority, it took me a while, but they're understanding that, and they're coming forward with a lot of ideas that I'd like to share in a workshop. And I know I've talked to Donna Sicilian about, they also are going to help teach social workers how to work the system, because basically that's what we're doing. We need to find homes, reasonable homes for a lot of families. As I started working with one, I never realized how many families are in need and how many children come to school with such terrible baggage, as you will, because their home life is so miserable. So thank you, Commissioner Edgars. Thank you, Representative Gus Bilirakis. Chris Sprouls helped me. It was a very wonderful learning experience, and it's wonderful to see agencies come together and be successful. So thank you.
Fabulous. I'll make this really quick. I had a chance to visit Campbell Park Elementary School, Melrose Elementary, Fairmont Park, and Gibbs High School, and was very ecstatic to see everyone getting off to a wonderful start for the first day of school. The teachers at Fairmont Park some of them didn't know what a flip was, which is a sweet treat. So there's a flip lady right across the street from Fairmont Park. I know because I buy 20 at a time and put them in my freezer at home. So I bought flips for every single teacher at Fairmont Park, and they all had a chance to experience a sweet treat. Probably too much sugar, but they had a chance to do that. So, and I don't do that for everybody, but just sometimes, you know, teachers need to have just that little extra special little something to let them know that not only are you concerned about the work they do as teachers, but as human beings, because they are. Many of them have students in our school system. So they're teaching students, but they're also consumers of Pinellas County schools, and so we have to really think about that. So I was excited and happy to do that. I'm going to stop by to see how many are still probably bouncing off of the walls. I don't know. I chair a subcommittee for Pinellas County government for the complete count, which is the census that is coming around. I want to publicly thank Dr. Barbara Hires and Donna Cecilia, because on the committee that I chair, we are focused on the count as it relates to seniors and students. And so I have someone from the HEAT team that will be on that committee, and also someone from our mental health services component piece. It's a huge education component to talk to individuals, to get them to understand that we're not counting them to lose benefits. I need them counted so that we can have the money for the benefits. But with all that's going on in the community, and not to get in those weeds right now, I truly understand their fear perspective. So I want to thank you all for helping me with that, and we're moving right along, and things are going very well. Commissioner Ken Welch actually chairs the overall umbrella, and then I chair one of the subcommittees, so I want to thank him for that. I had a chance to speak at the Pinellas County Classroom PTA the other night, and they had 2 representatives from our new elementary school, and so that was really exciting for them. So I tried to do a special shout out and connection with them. But we also had more individuals at that PTA meeting from South County schools. And so my heart was very warm on that, because I know it's been a struggle for some of the schools in South St. Pete to have a PTA, get it up and running, maintain and sustain. So to see them at that very first meeting and to be embraced and loved by the individuals that were there did my heart good. So I just had a chance to talk. I talked from our Fast Facts booklet about what's going on. I talked about some of the positive things we're trying to do within the district to make sure that all students know that they have a choice in the focus and direction of their education, and that parents, through our Parent Academy and other cadres of support systems, have advocates as well. So I thought that went really well, and I look forward to attending again. You already hit on the storm preparation, but Dorian is expected to do a little something on Sunday, so I know we'll be prepared and ready. I had a chance to volunteer, fortunately, but unfortunately, when Irma was coming through at Gibbs High School, and I saw the work firsthand that our district does in that. So thank you, Mr. Clint Herbig, and to all of your team members. Lakewood High School gym is complete. Second announcement, Lakewood High School gym is complete. So I'm excited about that, and excited for the students. Because it's kind of difficult when you have physical education and all of that going on. And so they've been sending pictures and posting pictures, and I've been cheering them on. So I'm really excited, and hopefully some of us will be able to attend either volleyball games or basketball games that will be held there in the gym. But I'm really, really happy for them. I was so glad to hear from our Jacobson Technological Veterinarian School, as well as from Stacy Bauer with the Education Foundation, when it comes to what we're doing with technical trades, because that folds right into one of our mantras for what we will be talking about with the state legislature. I think we're right on target with what it is the governor says he supports. And so I am feeling quite hopeful that we will get the additional support, because affording college is becoming more and more taxing on families. And so I'm really excited about that, and I look forward to seeing us do a lot more for others in the community. The last thing I have is that myself and Ms. Long serve on the Florida School Board Association Legislative Committee, and we had our first conference call, and that conference call really was an introduction and to kind of give an overview about what's to come. It really wasn't we didn't do a deep dive at all into anything moving forward with the legislature. So we have some follow-up conference calls coming along. Ms. Long and I will be attending the meeting over in Orlando, and so we will be taking the components of our legislative platform and certainly listening to what all other 66 different school districts are talking about, and we'll bring back a full report to the district. The last thing I want to say is it'll be the last thing for today, but I really want to give a special shout out to our bus drivers. The first couple of days of school, it was raining. Bus drivers were driving very carefully, picking up the students, being very patient. I was at the bus compound in St. Pete early in the morning, and just to see the vibrancy on their faces, meeting some of the new drivers that have gone through our program to try to recruit bus drivers. And so I just want to give a special shout out to them. They carry the most precious cargo that we have, and they can, really contribute to the start of the day for students to get to school and start their day off right. And they look out for those students. And a couple of them were some of our drivers who have not had any accidents or anything. You know how we honor them. And so it was like, Mr. Renee, we're going to be right there again. No accidents, we'll be honored. So I was happy to spend some time with them. And sometimes people don't think about that, but they get those students to school in preparation for us, our teachers, to begin teaching them when they get there, and then they take them home. And so they get to hear some of the challenges and concerns. And some of our bus drivers do some things to support our students that no one will ever hear about. They do it not to be in front of the camera, but they do it because they love those students that get on their buses. So I just wanted to give a special shout out to Miss Roundtree, who I got to see, who's back in St. Pete, Mr. McBride, and all the other staff members. Wonderful, wonderful job. Thank you, Mr. Clint Herbig. And the last thing I do want to say is shout out to Chief Luke Williams and all of our school police and resource officers. Fabulous job the first couple of days, creating relationships with our students and with our staff. We're doing everything on point, and I just want to give a special shout out to them. Thank you all so very much for all that you do. Okay, so that's all that we have. Moving on to Mr. Bill Corbett. Did you have any things that you need to bring back as board requests?
Yes, Madam Chair, I recorded 2 potential workshop topics for your consideration. The first is to have a discussion on the policy regarding environmental issues, and the second is to discuss the ideas from the Pinellas Housing Authority.
Okay, fabulous. Well, thank you all so very much. I think we had a really good board meeting for the start of school. I look forward to all of the wonderful work that we'll continue to do together, so I couldn't be a part of a better team. We will go ahead and adjourn this meeting. Then we will have our speakers at the end, if we have any, followed by our evaluation of the school board meeting, and then we have a executive closed meeting that will be in the room here to our left, so we will not be going upstairs. So it's immediately following, so we can just go in there for that meeting. All right? All hearts and minds are clear? Ms. Ann Simonetti, do we have any speakers?
Board members and Dr. Grego, we have 6 speakers today under general public comments. Our first 2 are Lenora Faulkner and Janice Metz.
Good morning, Ms. Flowers and your distinguished school board members. God bless you in your work. I'm Lenora Faulkner. I find myself fighting for education excellence for all students, the poor and the needy, especially in your failure factories and middle schools. I have been a Florida educator for 52 years, graduating from the University of Florida in 1967. Certified in biology, chemistry, mathematics, science, health education, middle schools, and the gifted, receiving excellent in every area by many principals. My allergy doctor finally wrote a letter to the school board for me to retire immediately in February 2003. The school board has never responded to the letter. I speak at school board meetings since 2005. My last IMAS class, which is advanced chemistry, was the 7 Habits of Highly Effective Buccaneers. Our room was covered with newspapers and Super Bowl posters. This year is the 150th anniversary of the periodic table and of college football. I actually took a train ride from the Naval Academy to Philadelphia on December 1st, 1945. I attended the 1945 Army-Navy game. It was the game of the century. There were 102,000 people in attendance. It is 1 month before I was born there. The aviators arrived in 1945. Dad was a Hellcat fighter pilot in graduate school in aeronautical engineering. That's the hardest course, the midshipmen tell me. He fought for public schools, not virtual schools or charter schools. I've been asked to be a science and math ambassador with People to People to many countries. On April 21st, 2009, Paige Keeley sent me this letter. Dear Ms. Faulkner, I am the president of the National Science Teachers Association. I'm honored to have been selected as leader to the science delegation to South Africa. I invite you to join me to participate in this important international exchange. This delegation, specializing in science education, will convene in South Africa in October 2009. I wanted to be an 8th grade chemistry teacher, but God wanted me to be a veteran's mom. My son's been sick at the Tampa VA for 20 years. I go over there 5 days a week. I hire someone to go 3 days a week, and I pay someone so I can speak at the Pinellas school board meetings. I wish you the best of luck. God bless.
Thank you.
Oh,
good morning. I'm Janice Metz, and I'm representing FAST, and my colleagues are here today, but we're also representing lots of parents, grandmothers, and citizens in our county. I was very interested in all the wonderful programs that are happening in Pinellas County. I must say there was that same elation when you started to, when you adopted the restorative practices. I'm here today because I think there's something that could ensure the success of that program and would improve behavior in our schools. There are about 3 things that I think are critical for the program, and I'm not sure they're happening in all of our schools. The restorative conferencing, which is a key component necessary for restorative practices, does not seem to be happening in many of the schools. The second thing is for good implementation. It is critical that our teachers have somebody from restorative practice that is experienced with successful programs to visit and come in once a month to do some coaching, to provide mentoring and feedback for the teachers. We feel that's a critical component. And thirdly, an expert with experience in restorative practices should come in to on-site to the school for training for all the teachers and the staff together, all the auxiliary staff. We feel that all of the staff must be on the same page with it. We are asking our school board members to increase and better the implementation for all of our children. We feel that restorative practices is a good program and can make real inroads into improving behavior if it's implemented correctly. Thank you, and thank you for all the work you do for our county.
Thank you for continuing to work with us. We appreciate you. Next speaker.
Our next 2 speakers are Pat Peterson and Mark Clutho.
Either one.
Greetings, school board and administrators. My name is Pat Peterson. I'm a graduate of Clearwater High School. My kids are graduates of Clearwater High School. My grandkids are graduates of Palm Harbor University High School, Tarpon Springs High School, and Eastlake High School. I am a proud supporter, and I love the Pinellas County school system. I actually worked as a teacher for 30 years in this school system, and I worked with Carol Cook for a little while at Eisenhower Elementary. Currently, I am a team leader in the FAST Justice Ministry. On August 18th, it was a Sunday morning, I read my newspaper, as I do every morning, Tampa Times, and there was a front page article and the headline was Student Discipline Debated. And it reported a drop in the number of student behavior referrals, which is great. But then it went on to quote some teachers who claimed that their principals were refusing to honor their referrals and sending kids back, possibly in order to make their school reports look better. I feel that if Pinellas would adopt the IIRP, Whole School Implementation Program model, that the principals would get training, they would get coaching in how to conduct these student conferences to get to the root of a problem, of the reason why a kid is acting out, to determine appropriate consequences, and to plan for future positive behavior. That would give the principals a strong ability to help the classroom teacher, because classroom teachers must be supported by their administrators and their principals. I know this because I have been a teacher and I have seen it happen both ways. So I think this would be an excellent solution to helping our principals. Thank you.
Or Clutho Largo, what about that separation of church and state? Yeah. She was a teacher and doesn't know you're supposed to use an and. Like the chair there says, a executive. Oh boy. And you're fully prepared. You know, citing Irma, which was a glancing blow. What if Charlie would have hit like we thought was going to happen? How prepared would you have been for that one? Right. And so you're going to start 5 minutes early. What a joke. What a joke. And the Amazon burns. So here's the headline. Some things can't be nuked. And you wanted to collaborate with the pariah, that great pariah, Bill Gates. Some scientists and experts in technology, including Bill Gates, have continued to pursue hurricane control strategies. So, you know, weren't you lucky he went over there to Hillsborough County and you didn't get to collaborate with that guy? So what's he want to do? Is he one of the guys that wants to nuke the hurricanes? Did you wizards read the article about what happens when you nuke hurricanes? Yeah. Get some good results like, oh, maybe almost as good as the way you build your schools. Yeah. See, the problem is you say you're prepared, but what you are, you're all reactionaries. Your schools are belching the carbon that is making the hurricanes. Take, for instance, that middle school over there on Belcher, with those clear story windows allowing for direct solar gain. You don't put those where direct solar gain occurs. You people are fools.
Our next two speakers are Willie McClendon and Reverend Lee Hall Perkins.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for giving us the time to come in and speak. And first of all, thank you all for your work in trying to bring out the results that we all want for our kids in this area. Again, thank you. My hat's off to you. Thank you for recognizing the bus drivers and the principals and staff. I have a niece that's a principal and a son that's a bus driver. And I will let him know that you all did recognize their work. So again, thank you. I'm here today because I'm concerned. I'm Pastor McClendon from Shallow Baptist Church here in Largo. And I'm here today because I'm concerned about the restorative practice program. Thank you all for implementing it, you know, for making the effort to get the program in our school system. One of the things that I'm here because I'm concerned about the restorative practice conferencing. Sarasota County has been able to implement the program, and they got all of their teachers and supporting staff trained. And we've been informed that we will not get the results that we need unless we get conferencing in our schools with that program. I know you all have invested money. We have invested money and time and what have you. And we want to maximize the use of our times and efforts. So in order to do that, I feel that we need to put restorative practice conferencing in our schools, especially for those kids that have seriously infracted the rules and what have you, so that we can kind of get them back on the road. Amen? Thank you again.
Hi, my name is Lee Hall Perkins. I'm the senior pastor at Mount Zion United Methodist Church in Clearwater, and I'm a former employee of the school board. I worked as a substitute teacher once upon a time. And so I'm echoing what Reverend McClendon has already stated. I want to thank you all so much again for bringing the Restorative Practices Program to our county. And I believe that we need to again, maximize that program and get all the benefits that we can out of it. I'm concerned that there's no formal restorative practices conferencing happening in our schools. And we're at the first level of having restorative circles, which is a good start. And it's good, especially for just minor infractions that are happening in the classroom. But when it comes to more serious things that could be leading to suspensions and things like that, restorative practices conferencing can be a solution to those issues. And so restorative practices program that we have currently will not be as effective if formal conferencing is not a part of the plan for our students, again, who commit those serious infractions. Thank you so much for your time.
Ms. Metz, can I make an ask of FAST, if you don't mind? First of all, thank you, because you've been with us like from day one, so thank you so much. Do you think maybe you could take back to FAST and see if they would be willing to provide some financial remuneration as it relates to the cost for the training, to have someone come in and train the, do the monthly training? Do you think you could ask FAST if they would be willing to maybe help financially to pay for that?
I would sort of be willing to take it back. I don't know of any.
Yeah.
Providers.
Right. Yeah, that's why I just said if you could maybe ask, and because it's gonna be a very expensive process. Not saying anyone agrees to it, we haven't had that conversation, but just I know that one of those is the concern. Thank you to each and every one of you. Some of you I know, some of you I'm just getting a chance to meet today, but thank you so very much for all you do in supporting Pinellas County School students. And sign up to volunteer mentor student too. So we'd love to have you do that. Thank you all so very much. That concludes our business. We will do our evaluation, and then we'll go in for our closed session immediately following. I want to give my quote for the day. You know, it just wouldn't be a board meeting if I didn't get a chance to give a quote for today. And since today is about teachers, I have not every, oh, I'm sorry, it moved. Everything you don't know is something that a teacher will teach you and you can learn.